motivation behind making this video is essentially pure flattery, because my good friend Benjamin said he really likes my fairy sets and asked me for a little bit of help with them. So basically this is just a fairy set from my perspective. I haven't gone and looked at any of the tips and tricks for fairy on Modified prior to making this, so this is basically just my perspective on the trick, and I don't claim to be an expert on the on this set at all, but I do have pretty decent both side fairy sets, and I don't experience any knee pain from them, so that has to be a good sign. So if you're thinking about learning this uptime component, it's a good idea to have some of your basic downtime components dialed in already. So you should be able to do tricks like leg over, mirage, pickup, and clipper pretty well already before you start learning this component. Okay, so Ben had mentioned that he heard some people describe a fairy set as like the opposite of a pixie set, but I don't really look at it that way, mainly because when people do a pixie, some people do it differently, but a lot of people do sort of like a flick. And that's fine for pixie because your body bends that way, but when you're trying to do fairy to sort of flick that way, I don't think it's very good for your body, and that's one of the things that I think result in a lot of people's knee pain with this set. So I don't really look at it like that. Another way some people might describe it as a same-side atomic. But with that, with atomics you usually are dexing under the knee, and for me with fairy set, it's dexing more under the foot and not under the knee. So when you're practicing your fairy set, I think it's really important to try and keep your leg vertical and avoid twisting as much as you can. So basically what you're going to do is set it, and what you want to try and do is separate the set from the dex. And essentially what you're going to do is set it up in the air and then get your foot out of the way. So try and keep everything sort of vertical and just move out of the way. So like that. Okay, so basically when you set it, you just want to set it straight up, and then make sure you differentiate your set from your dex. But as soon as you set it, you want to start moving that foot and getting it out of the way without sort of flicking your leg out or trying to avoid that. So basically in slow motion, it's going to look like this. So set, dex, set, dex. You want to make sure you really differentiate the set from the dex, and I think that's really important to avoid like flicking it. So make sure your set is nice and straight, and then just get that dexing leg out of the way, like that. Okay, so I think that's pretty much all I have to say about fairy. It's basically just sort of getting used to the movement and really getting that leg out of the way as soon as you start your set. With this trick, a lot of people experience knee pain, and I think it's really important to listen to your body. If you do start experiencing any pain, or your knees start popping a lot or anything like that, it's a really good idea to just take a break and sort of try and reevaluate your form. I don't claim to be the most advanced player, and I'm sure there are other people who are more qualified to explain this and give tips, so if anyone else wants to comment on this video and sort of try and shed some more light on it, I think that would be really helpful, because I'm not really experienced on giving trick tips. But yeah, that's basically fairy in a nutshell.